Hey guys, it's your boy MK, and thought I'd come back with another topic, trying to be fun again, with another fun topic. Well, actually, same topic I covered last time, which is about football. Um, Once again, just like in my last video, seem to be having some trouble with the connection. I hope this video will upload properly. I think the last one did, actually, thankfully, so hopefully this one will too. Coming clean, I haven't done much. I haven't done any real research or planning behind this video really, but just thought I'd have a bit of fun with it. I've seen what other people do football channels like for Man United or Arsenal, teams like that, so I thought I'd do my own, try to have fun with it and all that sort of stuff. So I mean, they get quite passionate about, and I suppose when I support Italian football, I'm quite passionate about wanting to win, and I don't take losing too easily. But although I know they say it's only a game, but obviously those people don't know what they're talking about. Just kidding. But no, on a serious note, like sometimes when Italy have lost, I've been like really upset, or Italian clubs have lost, I've really been upset. So anyway, I do kind of take it serious, but I also want to have a bit of fun with it as well. And yeah, so I really want to ask. Really, I'm really wanting to ask. Sorry, I'm really trying to ask. Hope that's good English. Excuse me. I'm really hoping to ask Italian football fans, especially, or maybe even football fans generally, how Serie A or Italian clubs can compete internationally, like in Europe and in international events like the World Club Cup, which I think should probably be the biggest event, really. But yeah, just generally how Italian football can promote itself and make itself proud and do really well outside of Italy, and also have a lot of fun. Excuse me, and do fundraising and whatever, and how it can compete with, as I say, leagues like the Premier League. I was going to say Serie A then, but that's competing with itself. But Premier League, maybe the old Serie A teams, how it can bring back some of the pride, or even maybe even do better than in the 90s if that's possible. But yeah, as I say, sorry, how Serie A and Italian football generally can make itself proud internationally and really be competitive, and as I say, possibly get more fans and promote itself, brand itself, which I talked about before. And again, how we, as I say, as an Italian football fan, can win big games internationally. As I say, Europa League, Champions League are the main ones at the moment, but I think that should be like, I think the World Club Cup, I think, just like the World Cup itself, should be, in my opinion, the biggest event, really. I think they should FIFA should probably make it bigger, because it's like the World Club Cup. So, but yeah, I'd love to hear about ideas, possibly about what fans think, how Italian football can become more competitive. And I think it is one of the top leagues still, really. I mean, I think there's the Premier League, the Liga, which is a Spanish league. And I think the Italian league is probably at the moment about third, but at one point it was like, if not the best, at least the second best. And I think it's fallen down the rankings. And competitively, like the English and Spanish teams have started to do a lot better. And I think it'd be great to see. I'm a bit biased, obviously, but well, very biased. But I think it'd be great to see Italian clubs competing. I'd say winning things. Just like, I mean, English football is really done. Ironically, I'm from England. I only support Italy because I think I look Italian and all that. I love Anglo-Indian support Italian football teams. And like, as I talked about before, if Anglo-Indians wear the Italian football, different clubs like AC Milan and Inter Milan, Juventus and teams like that, and hopefully like people in India, if they think Anglo-Indians are cool, they'll probably copy us, I should say, as an Anglo-Indian, and maybe we can like encourage more people to follow Italian football, support Italian football. Not sure if Indians think Anglo-Indians are cool, but it would be pretty cool if they did. And and we could be ambassadors for the game, and also just generally, I would love to think of ideas about how Italian football can market itself better. I think it seems like the Premier League is really good at marketing, getting television rights and finding fans all around the world, like India, China, Kenya, all over Africa and all over Asia and places like that. So I'd love to see if there's ways in which Italian clubs could find creative ways to do that as well, and yeah, just to market the game and make Italian football more commercially viable and attractive internationally. And I suppose the problem, like leagues like the Premier League have got, is that so many of the players they get, the best players are like sort of from overseas. And so like when in 2016, I remember like there was a big backlash because England lost to Iceland, and people were really angry in England. I saw quite a lot of YouTube videos about how angry people were, and they were saying like it's really embarrassing to lose to a country that's so small that just has passion. Although actually Iceland have invested, like maybe I was thinking like even teams like Italy could probably learn a lot from Iceland. Actually, Italian football could probably learn a lot from Icelandic football because they've invested in like indoor football pitches, so even when the weather's bad, they can still train. And just for a small country, they've done really well. And so I think for a country that used to be one of the top teams internationally, at one point possibly the top, or at least second top after Brazil, perhaps, it could probably learn a lot from Iceland about how to recreate some of that pride. And I mean, Italy's not the biggest country, but it's for its size. Like if you can learn from a small country like Iceland with such a small population, then I think making more facilities for sports and football and things like that. But I think England is really clever at marketing as well, the English FA and all that. So I think Italian football could probably learn a lot from English football about how to get more marketing and make the game more, make Serie A or Italian football generally more appealing internationally, as I say, across Asia and Africa and places like that. And as I say, I'd love to hear your ideas about creativity. Or I think if Italian football is positive, it could probably compete with other leagues, just like the Premier League. As I say, I still think Serie A, Italian football is one of the top leagues around the world. Certainly in Europe, like, and European teams are mostly the most successful or the best at marketing or whatever, and have the most money behind them. So I think actually I think there's not many leagues in the world really that's ahead of Serie A, and that probably gives Serie A an opportunity if it sort of learns to adapt and be more versatile. We can learn a lot of ideas from England and probably compete more with the Premier League. And I mean, last season just gone, you had Liverpool and Tottenham in the Champions League final, and Chelsea and Arsenal in the Europa League. So for the first time, excuse me, for the first time in history, you had 4 teams from the same country in the final. So I think the Premier League went quite obviously did very well and went quite far ahead, and whereas Italian teams fallen off a bit. And like in the 90s, Italian teams were probably, as I say, probably the top, and Serie A was the most respected. So I think there's lots of opportunities for Italian football to improve. As I say, I'd love to hear or share ideas and network the Italian football fans possibly around the world about how Italian football can become certainly as close to the Premier League as possible, if not replace the Premier League perhaps as the top league. Because I've supported Italian football so long, it's like sort of I've had all these ideas about Italian football. But yeah, I'd love to see Serie A becoming the top league. So and I'm sure it's possible. Like some people say, if you believe in something, you can make it happen. So if you push hard enough, and I say I'd love to hear people's thoughts, football fans' thoughts. Do you think like Serie A could improve and make changes to market itself better, or do you think it's just unable to compete with the Premier League, like especially with television rights? Anyway, I think I've waffled on long enough. I was thinking of making this video about 14 minutes long, but I think that'll probably be too long. I'm probably waffling long. I don't want my videos to be too long, and also I haven't got a huge amount to say, so I might be boring you to death. I might make another video like this again in the future and not cover any points I might have forgot. But yeah, as I said before, sorry to repeat myself, but I'd love to hear football fans' views about how Serie A can improve, how it can be more marketable, adapt and think of creative ways to become the top league, or at least to become closer to the Premier League and compete with the Premier League. Peace and love.